Hey everybody, this is Cody Bateman. Welcome to a new version of Relationship Marketing Weekly. We're excited to have a very special guest on with us today. Make sure that as you log in, you say hello to us. We have people that are coming in from all over the world to listen to this show. It's pretty exciting to watch the names and where you're from come across all throughout the U.S., through Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. Welcome to the Facebook Live show that we have here today. Very special guest coming to us from CK Golf Brands. He's in the golf industry. Please welcome Charley Kiel. Charley, welcome to our call today.
Hey, Cody. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. You know, I've got all my buddies are now starting to golf again, and they're trying to get me into golfing again. And I got to go I'm a left-hander. I got to go find clubs. So I might just talk to you about golf on this show today, to learn how to get back into it. We're really excited to have you on the show. Obviously, you've been a strong golf advocate for 26 years. You've been in the golf industry and 10 years as a sales rep. You have your own company called CK Golf Brands. You know, most people, when they think of golf, they think of playing golf. They don't think of an occupation of golf and tell us a little bit about your business. What is CK Golf Brands? What do you do, and who's your clientele?
Sure. First and foremost, thanks so much for having me on the Relationship Weekly this week. CK Golf Brands, I actually was a company rep for McGregor before CK Golf Brands kind of came about as a company guy. And then they kind of went away, and I made a decision that I wanted to continue in as a sales rep in the golf business. So my clientele were the guys that I used to be, and that was the golf professionals at the country club level, the golf club level, the retail level, and as well as some associations that I work with as well. And so those are the guys that I call in for my four states, for Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa. And ever since 2008, when I kind of started this voyage, I just have looked at building those relationships with the guys that I used to be that guy, and the sales reps would call on me. So I had a pretty good idea of where I wanted to go with my business, the brands I wanted to represent. And obviously there was some turn and changeover with some different brands to where I'm at now. And it's been obviously very, very, a lot of fun. People think of the golf industry and it's like, oh, you must play golf all the time. I don't.
Probably don't play at all now,
Actually, I haven't played this year at all. I have a 13-year-old son that's really eager to get into the game and play, and so that's kind of motivating me again to do that.
So when you say you rep a lot of brands, so you kind of help people that are in the pro shop at the golf course, and so do you sell like apparel, equipment? What do you sell?
Sure. I used to sell apparel. I got away from that last year, and I really focused on a lot of key accessories. So I have sterling cut glass, Maui Jim eyewear, Next belt. I have Stance socks, a really cool leather bag company called Tika Leather out of Florida, and then a conglomerate of brands called Dynamic Brands, which is push carts, towels, and travel gear and bags. So I represent those 6 different brands on a direct business-to-business relationship for my 4 states.
Okay. So you used to be on the buying side of this.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so you kind of know what the buyer's looking for and probably know how you want to be how a buyer wants to be treated, because you were one for quite a few years before you sold, right?
Oh, definitely. Yes, very much so.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit. What is your approach? Why should a golf shop purchase those items from you versus? I'm sure it's very competitive. What separates you from your competition?
I think basically, they understand. I know I've been in their shoes. Number one. Number two, the brands that I'm representing are key significant lines in the business, and they kind of separate themselves a little bit. And so with the combination along with the relationships, it's provided for me to, go in and my objective isn't just to sell one brand into the golf shop, it's to sell all 6 into the golf shop. And obviously along with that is dig up additional business with events and tournaments. so much of our business in the golf industry is tournaments and member guest and member events and corporate events. And, I did some math a few years ago and realized just in my 4 states with my quote unquote higher end country clubs and B clubs, my golf clubs, there was probably nearly a $2.5 million to $3 million business just in tournament volume there.
Wow.
Outside of what I stock in the golf shops and what those golf shops turn over from a specialty retail standpoint.
So yeah, when you say tournament, tournament sales, what kind of things do you sell for tournaments?
Really good example. I'll go into a country club. I've got actually 2 this week, and with Maui Gym, and I'll actually fit Maui Gym sunglasses to all the guests and the members coming into this event. And some will be, 100, 120. I'll have one next week that's 160. I had one in 2017 that was 200 players. And when you start doing the math, that starts adding up really, really quick.
That's interesting. Very interesting. I know one of the stories that you had was, so you do some corporate sales, because one of the stories you talked about working with a car dealership. In fact, can you tell us that story, just working with a car dealership and what you did there?
Sure. So back in December of 16, I had a country club in Columbia, Missouri, over in the center of Missouri, call me and said, hey, we've got a car dealership, a VP of car dealerships over in Columbia that wanted to fit about 30 of their sales professionals with Maui gyms. So went over, it was December, freezing rain and ice, nearly got in an accident, but made my way over there. Spent about an hour, fitted 30 of their top sales professionals for that year, and sent the gentleman, Mr. Nooner, a really nice thank you card with brownies after the event. Put him on my drip list as far as campaigns, sent him some cards last year in 17 as well as a holiday card. And I had this tournament in Columbia last month on the 21st at another country club in Columbia. And all of a sudden, Mr. Nooner is right there shaking my hand saying, hey, thanks so much for coming over. And I kind of scratched my temple, and I soon realized he was actually on the board of that tournament. And he had given kind of a nudge to the actual tournament director after the event was done and saying, hey, Charley's got other products in his portfolio. Definitely get with him on ideas for the rest of our season and into 2019's tournament schedule. So
well, you never know the connections that people have that you work with,
Yeah.
Kind of funny. I have a seminar that I do, and sometimes I'll have people stand up and have them look at the person next to them who might be a stranger. And I say, you need to look them in the eye and say, you ain't got a clue who you're standing next to, just to have a little fun. But it's just an indication, because that really is key to success in business. And you've already mentioned it. Relationships are everything. You're very professional. You take care of people, but you follow up with people. And you didn't send this guy just a thank you card with brownies. You sent him 4 or 5 tangible touches over the course of a year.
Correct.
And then out of the blue, you meet him at a separate event, and he's over something totally different, and which gives you more business. And so that's what it's all about. And what I've found, Charley, and I want you to talk about this a little bit. Most people that we try to train on relationship marketing, for whatever reason, they don't want to make the investment. It's like, and it's not money investment, because the money, it's very cost effective to do relationship marketing, more cost effective than any other form of marketing. So it's not the money investment. It's the emotional investment into genuinely caring about other human beings, because that's what we teach. All you got to do is really show people that you care. And a lot of people, some might be your competition, whatever, just don't want to make the emotional investment in that. Why do you think that is? And what makes you want to reach out to people emotionally that way?
Well, first and foremost, those relationships, eventually put food on my table.
Right.
And I've got to take care of them. And, we can all think from the mind, but if we truly think from the heart, and people realize in a card, when they receive a card and brownies from you, that it was out of, heartfelt emotions that you sent that, and not just, hey, I'm looking for my next sale from you. I think people are smart people. They can digest that. They can see where you're going with it in regards to, if it's heartfelt or if it's out of just pulling to get more business. And, I learned at a very early age. I had an incredible mother, but incredible parents that taught me to write thank you cards, even in an early age. And so when this came about to me back in January 2016, I couldn't get my card out fast enough and get signed up. But to kind of really answer your question, I think, I love working with the guys that I work with, and as well as there's some ladies that I work with as far as the buyers and the merchandisers. But I just genuinely like taking care of people, and because it's where I came from, I want to be taken care of. I want to take care of them the way I was taken care of by a lot of the premium reps that called on me when I was a club professional.
So in other words, simply treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
You were a buyer first for many years. Now you're a seller, and you've just implemented that, where you just want to be treated you want to be treated the way, or you want to treat people the way that you wanted to be treated, and you've incorporated that. Obviously, you use greeting cards and gifts as tangible touches. I'm sure there's other ways that you communicate with people and whatnot, but talk to us right now. Just tell us a little bit about the importance of the tangible touch, a real greeting card in the mail, maybe a gift attached. Why is it so important? Because that's another thing a lot of people say is, it's a digital world now. I really don't need to do that stuff. In your mind, why is it so important to send a tangible touch out to somebody?
I've always called send out cards my secret weapon. And the reason why I say that is I think it's helped separate me from the competition of other brands and other people in my industry, in my territory. And, the other thing I look at it is we all can survive by making a phone call, making an appointment, having the emails and the follow-up. But I'm not here to survive. I'm here to thrive. And that's where I add the gratitude, the appreciation, and also the recognition. I had a club professional, actually a general manager over in St. Louis, call me about a month ago. And of course, I follow a lot of the guys on Facebook, and I get their birthdays on my radar. And I have a list right now for the rest of June, and I'll knock out a couple, 2 or 3 birthday cards with brownies each, every couple days. And he called me, and he said, "Man, thanks so much for the really cool card and the brownies." And I said, "Oh, you're more than welcome." I said, "I really appreciate all the things you guys have done through the years with me." And this club did a really beautiful Maui Gym event last year with me in 2017. And he said right out of his mouth, he goes, "There's not another rep that does that." And it really kind of, brought a sense of just, pride to myself. But at the same time, it's like, why aren't other people doing this? This is just heartfelt. I mean, I truly care about their operation and themselves, because I know they're putting a lot of hours away from their families in during the prime of the season. So
it's good stuff. That's good stuff, Charlie. So you mentioned that you have over the last couple of years a 40% increase in sales and a 40% increase in referral business. What do you attribute that to?
I definitely attribute it to a combination of things, better brands, but I think, the relationship marketing and using send out cards is taking me a huge, huge leap forward, and just separating myself and people realizing, hey, this guy is all about the heart. We want to, return business back to him. And if it's in a, simple thank you card, if it's in a card that they get unexpectedly, whether it's through the season when they know it's a grind and they get just a funny, tangible touch in the mail to say, that he gets it. He knows our world. As well as a birthday card with brownies or a Starbucks card or sea salt caramels, whatever it might be. I think that has been the ultimate thing in my whole realm of business resources, and that's been using send out cards.
Wow, that's great. I noticed too in the notes here that you've had a real spike, a big spike in business the first quarter of 2018. I think it says 275% increase over last year's first quarter. I mean, anybody would be interested in that. How do you get that big of a spike in one quarter? I mean, what do you attribute that to?
Sure. So that was specifically on Maui Gym, my one high-end eyewear line. And I attribute it to a combination of things. The competition kind of having some rough difficulties with their customer service. I attribute it to a combination of cards going out at different times late last year and into the spring, basically having the opportunity to, take their business to another level. And it's a combination of not only more product in the golf shop, but it's the continuing customer service and the follow-up, but as well as, dripping those cards to them and reassuring them that, hey, if there's ever anything that you need, I'll be out, be out on the trail seeing you, updating your, the merchandising and the display, keeping you trained on the product, and just taking care of them. It's just downright taking care of the customer.
Absolutely. Now, you've got a couple of cool cards examples there. You want to show those off a little bit? Tell us about them.
Sure. So this is a card. I found this kind of, funky, chubby little baby on the front, and I basically found it on Google Images by searching for game face. And I know that June is always a really challenging month for the golf professionals. So what I did is I just grabbed this picture, put in, hey, it's June in the golf industry, time to have your game face on, and just a quick little, hey, hope you're doing well. Let me know if I can ever help with anything down the road. And, that just started going out. I just started hitting that out there within the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I've got some other cards and drip campaigns that I'll go out here later this summer and fall as we kind of wrap up the golf season into late October, November.
One of the things I notice about your cards is, first of all, they're fun, they're cute. They're, that picture that's going to bring a smile and a laugh to somebody. But you don't ask for anything in those. You're basically just connecting. You're just connecting and saying, hey, I'm here for you. You don't ask for anything, and we teach that a lot. We teach the importance of, appreciation wins over self-promotion every single time. And I noticed that in the cards that you send out it's really all about the relationship, and I hope that our listeners can pick up on that example because I think it's really important. Well, listen, Charley, it's been wonderful to kind of get to know your business a little bit and what you do. You're a great example to all of us. Any final words? I always like to close the show with final golden nuggets from Charley Kiel, CK Golf Brands. Final words of wisdom. Go ahead.
Oh, Cody, thanks so much for allowing me to be on here. Appreciate all you guys, what you're doing at Send Out Cards. My nugget is just pretty darn simple. It's all about, the appreciation and gratitude, and don't forget the recognition. I send out cards for guys that have gotten new jobs, gone from an assistant golf professional to now a head golf professional or general manager job. And I'm cognizant of that online, whether it's Facebook or word of mouth. And, just find the recognition that people, they really truly want to desire recognition and appreciation.
Well, there you have it, my friends, Charley Kiel. And thank you so much for being on the show today. If you want to find out more about how Charley does send these cards and gifts out, get back with the person that shared the show with you today. I'm sure they can help you out. Stay tuned for another week. Next week, we'll be on once again. Take care, everybody, now.